Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to build this map room in Minecraft, which is perfect for showing off all of the wonderful different areas in your world. So here is our full materials list. At the top we have all of our dark oak wood that we're going to be using, and then just below that we have all of the spruce variants that are in this build, and then below that are our main building blocks: white terracotta, some bricks, and then we have some smithing tables here. Now these are because they're going to be going in the ceiling. They have a really nice underside texture that make for a great ceiling block, but if you don't have the required iron to make this many, then just grab some extra dark oak slabs, I would say. We then have 28 jack-o'-lanterns, but these can really be any lighting block, so a sea lantern, redstone lamps, or possibly glowstone, whatever you want, just make sure it's a block that emits light. So you can't use a lantern or torches, for example, it has to be a full block. We then have all of our miscellaneous items, so 4 redstone lamps, 2 barrels, 2 chests, 1 crafting table, 1 cartography table to make the maps themselves, of course, and then we have a lantern, 2 flower pots with a single flower to go inside of them, of your choice of course, and then we have 5 levers. The next row are all about the armor stands here, so we have 2 armor stands and all of the other items are related. We need 8 snow layers for them to be placed on top of. We then need a piston and a power source to actually push the blocks inside of the armor stand, and then we need a fishing rod to move them around. So all of these are related. And then the last row here we have our item frames with our empty maps. Now this is only 32 empty maps, there are 36 item frames. That leaves us with 4 item frames remaining, and inside of them we're going to have some paper, a compass, and 2 iron swords. Those will make sense as we place them down. So here is the size and layout of the build. Now I'm just going to be showing you how to do the interior of this. I'm not going to show you how to cover it up with a separate exterior build, so I'd honestly recommend digging out an area underground to build this in. So you're going to want to hollow out a 11 by 13 by 5 high area. But then once you have your hole dug out, what you can do then is on top of where we have the orange blocks, place in a strip dark oak log. And then we can also bring them up by 3 more blocks for a total of 4. Once you have all of your pillars in position, we are going to place down the spruce door to mark the entrance, and it's in between these 2 central pillars, so we're going to place it down on the back of that block. So if we're looking at it from this side, that should be where the spruce door is. The others should be completely empty for now, but now what we're going to do is basically add our trim using the spruce stairs and slabs, starting off above the door here. So we're going to have an upside down spruce stair and then just 2 slabs like that to make a full plank. We're then going to have a stair and the stair with a slab in the middle on both of these 2 sides, and then on the larger 2 sides, this 7 wide section, we're going to have 2 stairs just like that, same as what we did before, but then we're going to place 2 down like this, so we're on the side, and as you can see it curves round just a little bit, and then we can have 3 more slabs in the middle. We can do this over on this side too. And once you got that done, we can then turn to the final side here, and in this 1 wide section we're going to have a stair with another one over here, and in the middle 5 wide section we're going to have a stair, and 1, 2, 3 slabs. Next up, we're going to grab our spruce trap doors and face the side where our entrance is, and we're just going to line the top here with those spruce trap doors, and we're going to bring them all the way across to the other side, making sure you're clicking on the trap door and crouching whilst you do this, otherwise it's going to go ahead and open like that. So if you're on Java Edition, you just need to be holding shift. So we do that on both of the 2 sides, and then we just need to line the other side with more trap doors. And then finally, we're going to have another row in the center here, going all the way across from one side to the other. When you're placing these down, do make sure you're facing the same way all the time so that we get this continuous pattern with all of the trapdoors looking connected. We don't want a random one placed on the side like that. To complete the ceiling, this is where our smithing tables come in handy. So we're actually just going to hop on here and place a temporary block with another one over the top here. And you just want to fill out the 2 sides, of course, again, holding shift while you do this, or that will happen like I just showed there. And we're going to make a ring all the way around with 1 more in the center here. So that's 5 by 5 by 3 with this middle one. And then in these 2 spots, we're going to have our redstone lamps. And of course, we can go ahead and turn them on with some levers. This can be replicated over onto this side too. So that is the underside of the smithing table, a really nice texture in my opinion, and just makes the ceiling look that little bit more interesting. Also works really well with the redstone lamps. But now what we're going to do is grab our white terracotta and jack-o'-lanterns or any other lighting source, and we're going to come to the two largest sides here. And basically one block back from the logs, we're going to have a line of 7 at the bottom, and then we're going to bring these up by 4 on either side. One more at the top here with a line of 3, and then this 2x3 area can become jack-o'-lanterns, sea lanterns, or glowstone, whatever you're using. And of course copy it around here too. As for these two sections on the side where our doorway is, on the right hand side or left, it doesn't really matter honestly, we're going to have a line of terracotta, one block back of course, with a jack-o'-lantern in the middle, 2 on both of the sides, and then 2 more in the center here. As for the other side round here, we don't need any jack-o'-lanterns, nor do we need any white terracotta on the bottom level, but we do just want to fill the rest in like so. As for the opposite side over here, we're going to start off in this middle section by having 2 white terracotta blocks with 3 more above it, and then we're going to have 1 more on either side. We're going to have 5 more across the top just like that, with 3 more in the center. We're then going to come to the 2 sides here, and on one of them, again it doesn't really matter, we're going to have 2 blocks, 1 block back of course, and on this other side we're just going to be having 1. So admittedly, all of this looks a little bit weird at the moment, not having it fully filled in, but do bear with me, we will remedy it later on. I'm just trying to help you save on the white terracotta. Now we can start adding in some of the detail blocks. So we're going to start off on this wall over here and go to the one wide section that has 2 white terracotta blocks missing, and on the bottom one we're going to have an outwards facing barrel with an upright barrel just above it, and then we can go ahead and crouch and place our lantern on top of it. On this other side here with the 1 block missing at the bottom, hello piggy, so I'm going to have to shut you out with a crafting bench, and we're going to go ahead and put a flower pot on top of that one, and then lastly in the middle here in this central block we're going to have our cartography table. Now this will look slightly different depending on which direction you built this in. This is a purely directional block, so it does not matter which way you're facing, it's always going to look the same way depending on which cardinal direction this is built in. So hopefully you get a good side and you don't end up with something like this, but you'll still be able to see the top of it, so it's not really the end of the world. Either side of our cartography table here, we're going to have a dark oak slab and then a dark oak stair, and as you can see the upside down stair nicely covers up the hole in the wall. But on top of those stairs we're going to have a chest with an item frame just above it, and this is where the paper and the compasses come into play. This is what you need to make a map, paper and compasses, so I'm thinking you could just store each of them individually inside of these chests. And then finally we're just going to have a temporary block here, and you can just cycle through your paintings until you get one that you fancy. That is my custom one I was looking for. On the other side over here, the one with the jack-o'-lantern, we're going to have a dark oak slab just below it with 2 dark oak upside down stairs either side. And on top of them we're going to have a lever and a flower pot. This is just sort of meant to be a pen with an ink pot. We're going to be placing some maps here and here just to make it look like one is in the creation of being drawn. On the other side here, the one with the white terracotta missing at the bottom, we're going to start off with a dark oak stair upside down in the middle, and then either side of it go ahead and break the block on the floor and place in 1, 2, 3 and 4 snow layers. No more, no less. And then we can just hop up on this stair here and place an armor stand facing forwards, and then 1 more diagonally, so you can see a little bit of differentiation there. And what we basically want to do is just hook these with our fishing rod and ever so slightly move them just so they look less centered in the block and a little bit more natural. So you don't honestly have to move them that much at all, just something like what I've done there. But then what we want to do is just break these 3 blocks at the top and then have our 2 dark oak planks on those 2 blocks, and then just put our piston above it. Obviously you may be doing this one at a time, but just to save on tutorial time here, we're going to go ahead and power them both at the same time. Place some temporary blocks below the piston again and push them down once more. Get rid of the pistons, the temporary block, and refill our spruce that we broke at the top here. And as you can see, the tops of the armor stand ever so slightly poke through, and we're pretty much going to be laying a map over the top of this, and it kind of looks like they are pegs in the map itself. This is actually a tip that I saw done by Fwip. Next up, you can place in 2 item frames underneath these stairs here, and inside of them we can have some iron swords. We just want to rotate this one here so that it's pointing into the middle. So the swords are here because I'm imagining this is going to be a war map. Maybe the pegs can be signifying the location of the enemy's base maybe, or something like that. So that's why we've got the swords here. If you don't really like that idea, maybe it's a bit too violent for you, you could just get rid of the swords. They're not necessarily needed. But next up, we're going to grab some spruce fences, and basically either side of the long area here, the 7 wide section with the jack-o'-lanterns, we're just going to have 3 fences next to the 2 dark oak logs on both of those sides. And now for the centerpiece of the room, the giant map that's going to be going in the floor. So what we need to do is just come 1 and 2 blocks out from the cartography table here and go ahead and break that block, and then dig out 3 more on either side, just like that. And then we're going to come out by 1, 2, 3, and 4 more. So we should be 1 block in front of the table here, and then just 5 more across the side like that. What we're going to do is place in a dark oak plank in all 4 of the corners, and then line the rest with these dark oak stairs, all facing inwards. And then we can go ahead and remove these inside blocks 2 blocks down. And in replace of them, we're just going to fill the bottom here with jack-o'-lanterns, or whatever lighting block you're using. The next thing to do is to replace all of the blocks on the floor here that are currently grass with brick. Of course, you need to replace every single block. That includes the ones underneath the slabs and the stairs, as well as by the doorway. So that is the room all done, with the exception of the, well, most important part, which is of course the maps, and we obviously need item frames for them to go inside of, so we're going to go ahead and place them on top of all the jack-o'-lanterns on the floor here, as well as the one on the wall. So we just got all of them placed down, which are the biggest maps, but then we have another one over here on this desk, so we have 1 on the jack-o'-lantern and 1 on the slab, and then finally we're going to have 3 over here. Just make sure you're clicking kind of on the side of this block here, otherwise it won't let you with the armor stand. So now you can go ahead and place some maps inside of all of those item frames, but if you don't really know how to do that and make a large map out of loads of little maps, then let me just give you a very brief explanation as to how it all works. So just as an example, I'm going to show you how to do one of the 3x2 maps, and once you know how to do this one, you can do the rest, because they all kind of work on the same concept, at least how I like to do them. And I should probably say, if you need a more in-depth tutorial on how to do maps, then there are plenty of videos out there. But we're going to start off here with 6 empty maps, 1 for each item frame, and the way I like to do this is basically lay them out in the same pattern as our item frames here in my inventory. So what we want to do is maybe start off with the top middle map, and we can go ahead and put this on our hotbar and click that open, and then we actually just need to head outside real quick and load all of this in. Now I'm not going to do that here because it's going to take me ages, but we would basically load all of that in, and then we can get out, let's say, our top left map, which is over to the left of this map right here. So we would have to walk off until our cursor in the top left corner there reaches the left side of the map, and eventually, as you can see there, it goes from being a cursor to a dot, and that means you can go ahead and open up this next map here. Again, you would walk around or fly around or maybe ride around on a horse until you got it all filled in, or in this case a boat by the looks of it. So that right there is our top left map, the one that we're currently holding, and then we would maybe go back to the middle map and walk our way back over until we are a cursor instead of a dot, as we are right now, and then you would go all the way over to the right hand side and pop open the top right map, and then maybe you'd make your way back to the middle here, become a cursor on this map, and then you would head downwards, and that is when you would pop open the bottom middle, and then kind of just repeat that process until you got all of your maps filled in. So pretty much pop open a map, load it all in, walk over to the next map that you have laid out in your inventory. It's a super simple process, but does take a little while, especially when you have a map this big on the floor, but believe you me, you could go a lot bigger. One last thing I do want to mention is on the interface of the cartography table here, you can actually expand the maps using paper. So as you can see there, it gets drastically smaller, the area we have loaded in. So this basically just allows you to fit more inside of a single map. Obviously, this will make the process even longer, but it is kind of cool to fit in as much as possible. Some exploration and map making time later, you should have some finished maps inside of your room here, and I absolutely love these things. I think they're such a wonderful feature. I personally do not use them enough. I think I need to start doing it more because I've just been having so much fun staring at this map we have on the floor. You can see the build we did today where our cursor is. You can see this build over here. I think that was where I was practicing something for my survival series, and then this is a small medieval church that we built the other week on the channel. And then we have some other smaller maps on the walls up here which I think look pretty awesome. And then of course we have our war map where the two bases are located with the pegs, which I love. Once again, looks even better now the maps are actually in place. And then the final one over here is the one that's in the creation and is being processed right now, or drawn on, or whatever. So what I've actually done is kind of left this last bit undiscovered, so it kind of looks like pixel by pixel it's being painted on with our pen here. It's not a lever, it's definitely a pen. So that, everybody, is the tutorial all done. I really hope this has helped you out and that you enjoyed watching, and if you are choosing to build this in your own survival world or your creative world and you got some maps of your own, then please do send me some pictures over on Twitter or in my Discord server. I really would love to see them. Both of those links are down in the description, by the way. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.